I stood in aisle 3, elbow against the cool glass of the counter, watching the buyer's eyes flick to the clock and back to the price sheet like a metronome tapping out my sentence. He didn't argue. He didn't sneer. He simply stamped the moment with a flat no, the way a shipping clerk stamps rejected on a crate. It landed on my chest with the dull thud of rubber on oak. The floor polish smelled like lemons. A pallet jack squeaked somewhere in the back. It was the end of my pitch and the end of no small dream, if the verdict stood. I walked out past the end cap of batteries and the wire baskets of socks, out the sliding doors that breathed me into cold air and a sky the color of unpoured steel. My pride ached, but I would not let that buyer name my future. I stood by the loading dock, the rumble of a truck backing in, and I spoke to the one man in the factory of me who could not be laid off. I put the whip in his hand. The unseen me, the boss of the institution, and I said in a voice I meant to obey, I will learn the talk that opens doors, not a line, not a trick, a talk, a tongue trained like a tool, a speech that lifts loads and earns its ink on the purchase order. You know it as well as I do. By your words you are rated. Jesus said, By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Matthew 12:37. In the marketplace they weigh you the same way. Your words buy you time. Your words buy you space. Your words buy you trust or buy you trouble. Doors are language locked until a key shows up, and the key has teeth. Cut lines, measured, patient, exact. I had shown up with a blank, smooth key and rattled it in the lock and wondered why it would not turn. So I vowed. I set an inner price on my speech. I told my brain, you will work, you will sweat. Make it work, make it think, make it dig. Don't float, dead fish float. I took my shame and hammered it into a handle. Some men throw down their tools and go home. I took the tool that had failed me, my tongue, and I put it into the grindstone of scripture and sense. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. If death is there, then life is there. If a no is there, then a yes is there. I would not live at the mercy of untrained words. Listen, rejection is not a verdict, it is a summons. It is the bell at the schoolhouse of mastery. They said no in aisle 3, and the bell rang in my soul. I heard the Spirit whisper, Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. So I acknowledged him, not to excuse my laziness, but to enroll in his wisdom. I said, Lord, put grace in my mouth. Teach me the tongue of the learned, that I may know how to speak a word in season to the weary buyer, to the busy clerk, to the wary manager. And then I put my feet on the pavement and began to do the work. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. I said it walking. I said it writing. I said it practicing to the empty wall. Make your brain work until it sweats. Train it like a plow horse. Shorten the lines that sag. Strengthen the words that lift. I rehearsed my opening so it would not wobble. I cut the fat from my value so it would not slide off the plate. I timed my pitch to the rhythm of a buyer's day. Respect the clock. Honor the load he carries. I learned to lead with a micro-promise and to pay it off before I asked for space on his shelf. I shaped sentences that carried belief, not bluff. Words that did a job, not a dance. When anxiety reached for my throat, I peeled its fingers back with scripture. Casting all your anxiety upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Peace steadied my pulse. A steady pulse steadied my phrases. I was not trying to sell a man. I was trying to serve him until he wanted what I had. The unseen me, whip in hand, kept time. Don't drift, don't whine, don't blame the store, the town, the weather, the price. Make it work. There's a gold mine hidden in every life, and the payor in mine would come out in sentences that solved a merchant's problems before they showed up at the returns desk. And I say this to you with father warmth and worker's grit. They said no. I kept at it. Now they're sold out. The same aisle that echoed with a stamp of refusal rang with the crackle of a reorder slip. The buyer's clock still ticked, but my words stopped wasting his minutes. Don't envy that end. Emulate the means. A no is a locked door asking for a better key. Build the key, file the teeth, oil the hinge with trust. Knock like a son who belongs. Work like a master who prepares. It will turn. I can see some of you right now at your own counter, your own aisle 3. That no is hot and fresh. It smarts. Good. Let it summon you. Step outside. Put the whip in the hand of the unseen you. Vow. Train your talk. Then go back in. Not cocky, but commissioned. A door is waiting for the word that fits it. And when you bring it, you will watch the handle give like a man's face giving way to a smile. The lock was never your enemy. Your ignorance was. By your words, you are rated. Begin today to raise your rating. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it, until even your rejections turn into revenue and your single door becomes a corridor of 100. By your words, you are rated. Not by your shoes, not by your smile, not by the shine on your sample case, by your words. Jesus said, "By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." Matthew 12:37. The marketplace grades the same way. The clerk may not quote scripture, but his pencil is a prophet. He hears your phrases and marks your score. Words are currency. Words are tools. Words are carriers of faith. Empty words bounce like rubber checks. Faith-filled words bank and clear. A store won't honor your chatter any more than a bank will honor your bluff. If your sentences carry belief, service, and proof, the cashier of life will stamp them paid in full. I want you to feel this in your bones. Your mouth is your invoice. Every line either bills the buyer's trust or refunds it. You must decide which. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. If death is there, life is there. If loss is there, revenue is there. Don't float. Dead fish float. Drift is cheap. Drive your tongue. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. Train it like a lathe to cut clean. Put every phrase on a scale. Does it do a job? Does it lift a load? Does it shorten time? Does it lower risk? If it does not, melt it down and cast it again. The tongue is a bridle. James says, "If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man." James 3:2. He can steer a horse with a bit. You can steer a day, a month, a year with a sentence. I learned to nail down set sentences the way a carpenter nails down a joist. They hold weight. They do not creak under pressure. Hear 2 of mine and make them yours until they are not borrowed, but born. I respect your time. I came to save you reorders, not spend your budget. Put those on your tongue until they live there. They carry honor. They carry service. They smell like relief to a man who is tired of returns and tired of talkers. And when you speak them, pay them off in 2 minutes with something that proves them true. Evidence and promise walking arm in arm. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. Colossians 4:6. Grace is not grease. It is strength made gentle. Salt is not noise, it is savor. The right words make a man say, "This one knows my shelf, my shopper, my shrink." Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying." Edify the buyer. Build him up with numbers that are friendly to his cash flow and with phrasing that is friendly to his nerves. "Sir, this display moves 12 units per foot in 14 days in stores your size." That is not flattery. That is a 2x4 with which you build trust. Evidence, promise, delivered. I can hear someone say, "But I'm not eloquent." Who asked you to be eloquent? Be disciplined, be accurate, be kind. Train the talk, and the talk will train the outcome. Keep a small book, your tongue's ledger. Every day write 3 phrases that did work and 3 that did not. Keep at it, kept at it, kept at it. Make your brain work. Strip the varnish off gaudy adjectives until the grain of truth shows. The unseen you is the foreman. Put the whip in his hand. Say to him, make him study. Make him test. Make him cut that sentence shorter. The buyer is not a fool. Do not treat him like one. The buyer is burdened. Treat him like a man carrying weight. Lift. You cannot hide trained genius. I have said it to young men on factory floors and to women who sell more in 3 hours than some men sell in 3 weeks. You cannot hide it. When a talk is trained, even a skeptic leans in. I watched a counterman with a permanent frown put down his stapler and listen when I opened with, "I respect your time," followed by a diagram of his own traffic pattern that I had sketched from 10 minutes of observation. Doubt tried to stand, but the talk had weight. It pressed doubt back into its chair and asked it to be quiet while service spoke. That is not magic. That is mastery. Trained words wear steel-toed boots. They do not bruise easily. They do not apologize for existing. They go to work. Guard your mouth like a gate. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Psalm 141:3. Some words must be refused at the threshold. Flattery, complaint, excuse, gossip. They cannot help you open a door. They will not build a shelf. They are thieves of time and enemies of profit. Refuse them. Let in words that carry peace. Casting all your anxiety upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Peace steadies the hand. A steady hand steadies the hammer. A steady hammer drives the nail straight. Peace in the heart makes sentences stand upright. Faith in the heart makes them live. Whosoever shall say, and shall not doubt in his heart, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Mark 11:23. Fill your speech with that quiet thunder, not bluster, not brag, faith. It sounds like service. It sounds like certainty without swagger. Say after me, and say it until it is carved into the wood of your habits. My words are tools, not toys. My words buy time, not waste it. My words carry faith, not fear. I respect your time. I came to save you reorders, not spend your budget. This is the salesman's creed. Not a slogan to hang over your desk and forget, but a standard to live by. Begin today. Put 2 sentences on your tongue that you will keep like vows. Try them. Test them. Tighten them. Train them. And they will train you. They will train your mornings. They will train your margins. By your words, you are rated. Raise your rating. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Until even your speech stands up in the room before you do and says, "This one is here to help, and we will let him in." You cannot hide trained genius. Not in a shop, not in a city, not in 100 doors. Before I tuned a single sentence tighter, I put a foreman on the platform inside me. The unseen me took the whip. Don't depend on an alarm clock. Have the alarm clock in your soul. Set it now. Tell it what hour victory rises. Rouse the sleeper that has borrowed too much time from tomorrow and never paid it back. I said to myself as to a stubborn crew, make him work. Make him study. Make him think until his brain sweats. The tongue is a tool. The man behind the tool must be a master. Before technique, identity. Get the boss on the job. A vow forged that boss, not a wish, not a cloud, a contract. I wrote it in ink and read it aloud until the paper lived. I open 100 doors in 90 days by disciplined words and honorable service. That line put iron in my back. It priced my days. It set my feet. A vow-backed self turns talk into authority. When you carry a kept promise in your chest, your voice stops wandering. You do not beg, you bear. You do not bluff, you bring. That vow picked up my sentences like tools from a bench and put them to work. It told my calendar what to do, and it told my nerves to be quiet. Keep it. Keep it when the weather bites. Keep it when a clerk frowns. Keep it when your ego stings. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Then I fastened my vow to a greater hand. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. I acknowledged him, not to excuse laziness, but to enlist leadership. Son consciousness replaced failure consciousness. I am not a stray begging for a crust. I am a son walking in my Father's wisdom. Walk like a son, work like a master. Romans says, ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. Romans 8:15. If he fathers your steps, you can step steady. If he directs your paths, your talk finds its mark. Authority is not a thunder voice. It is a settled heart. Peace first, then persuasion. Identity shapes speech. When I stepped away from sample consciousness into solution consciousness, my words changed their clothes. I was not a man with a bag. I was a man with a burden lifter. I came to take weight off a buyer's back. Listen to how a son talks. I respect your time. I came to save you reorders, not spend your budget. Then prove it. Lay a small promise on the counter and pay it off in 2 minutes. Show shrink reduced in a store like his. Show a shelf that turns faster and returns that rest. It's not bravado, it's service with a spine. The unseen, you stands behind it and nods. This is who we are. This is what we do. Now make your identity keep ours. Don't lend your morning to sloth. Put the whip in the hand of the inner boss at dawn. Up before the store lights blink on, I read my vow. I read my proverbs. I tune 2 key lines until they ring without wobble. I walk the aisles in my mind and pray through the doors. If God be for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. Then I go, not fluttering, not guessing, scheduled, steady. I knock like a son who belongs. I speak like a craftsman whose tool holds an edge. And when a no shouts at me from aisle 3, the vow answers, the son stands up, and the talk keeps working. Install the boss. Make the vow. Link it to the Father's hand. Step out of failure consciousness, like stepping out of a cold coat. Talk as one who carries solutions, not samples. Your words will feel the new weight and lift accordingly. Identity first, technique next. Results following like carts behind a good team. You cannot hide trained genius. You cannot hide a kept vow. Doors know the difference, and they open. Now we build the engine. Not a song, not a cloud, an engine. A winning talk is engineered. Each line does a job, and the whole closes the door behind doubt. 6 moves, 1 rhythm. Open, diagnose, promise, proof, close, reassure. Do not add ornaments. Do not waste oxygen. Proverbs says, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold and pictures of silver." Proverbs 25:11. Fit the words. Make them carry their weight. Right words, right tone. Right now. First, the open. 7 seconds, not 8, 7. The buyer's clock is a drum. You step in on the beat. Your line, "I won't waste a minute, I'll earn one." Then stop. Let it breathe. That sentence buys you time because it promises to return it with interest. It is not flattery. It is a vow-shaped courtesy. Ecclesiastes says there is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes 3:7. In those 7 seconds, speak once, then give silence a job. Let the quiet say you are not a talker. You are a worker who uses words like tools. You can feel a man look up when you respect his minutes. The open tells the clock, "We are friends today." Second, diagnose. Ask, don't guess. I say, "What costs you a sale on slow Tuesdays, stockouts, placement, or training?" Then I close my mouth and let the buyer own the room. The unseen you holds the reins on your tongue. James called the tongue a bridle. Now use it. Do not preach. Do not assume. Ask one clean question that names his world. The question is not a trick. It is a bridge. When he answers, he hands you his pain and his proof. You will use both. Make your brain work. It will sweat. But make it work. Listen under the words. Is it shrink? Is it fear of dead stock? Is it a tired team? He will tell you if you honor him with quiet. Diagnose like a doctor who wants the pulse, not the chatter. Right words, right tone, right now. Third, promise, precise, sharp. I save this aisle 3 lost sales by Friday without adding labor. Not could, not might, not will try. I save by Friday without adding labor. That is a fence with 6 posts. Clear, square, measurable. Let your yea be yea. James 5:12. If you fear a promise, you have not done the work. Do the work. Size your claim to your proof. A small, sure promise beats a large fog. You are lowering risk with your mouth. You are buying trust with specifics. Dead fish float. Living promises swim upstream and make a nest in the buyer's hope. Give him a reason to want you to be right. Then be right. Fourth, proof. Fast, concrete, friendly. Lane Market sold out in 48 hours. Photo and reorder slip here. Put the image on the counter like a brick. Put the slip beside it like the mortar. No adjectives, no parade. Let facts breathe. 12 units per foot in 14 days in stores your size. Then point to the date stamp. The proof must walk on its own legs. If you talk while proof is proving, you step on your own toes. Isaiah said, "The Lord God hath given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary." Isaiah 54. Season means timing. Proof is the season after promise. Say less, show more. Right words, right tone, right now. Fifth, close. Light, assumptive, no push, no strain. Let's put 12 on the shelf. If 6 remain by Friday, I remove them and buy coffee. See the load you lift? You choose the count. You choose the checkpoint. You choose the penalty. And it is you who pays it, not him. That is service with a spine. That close slides the bolt on the door so doubt cannot creep back in. The buyer feels the floor under his feet. He hears that you will work, not just talk. He hears that you price your own confidence. The light close says, "We are moving." It protects the buyer's dignity while it protects your timeline. A close like that makes a man want to shake your hand. He meets authority without feeling handled. Sixth, reassure. Reduce fear. Put faith on the counter. No risk to you. All work on me. You get credit for the win. Do you see how that last line strokes his real hunger? The store is a stage. Every buyer wants to be clapped for by his boss, his team, his ledger. Give it to him. Say, your team will say you found a mover. I'll set, train, and track. You collect the praise. This is not manipulation. This is mercy. Casting all your anxiety upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. You carry your own anxiety to the Father, so you do not spill it on a counter. Then you carry the buyer's anxiety with your plan, so he can breathe. Peace precedes persuasion. Reassurance is the oil in the engine. Without it, parts grind. Now listen to the cadence. Short, living words, no fog, measured pauses. Let facts breathe. Do not run your talk like a man late for the train. Walk it like a craftsman who knows the cut. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Proverbs 16:23. Teach your mouth to stop when proof is on the table. Teach it to ask once and listen twice. Teach it to say numbers, not noise. Right words, right tone, right now. Say it with me until it is carved into the rail of your soul. Right words, right tone, right now. Here is the rhythm in the wild, and I want you to hear it as if you were leaning on the counter with me. I step up, smile that respects time, and say, I won't waste a minute. I'll earn one. Beat. He nods. What costs you a sale on slow Tuesdays? Stockouts, placement, or training? He glances toward the aisle and says, placement, and my night crew misses tags. I nod. I save this aisle 3 lost sales by Friday without adding labor. I lay down a small printout and a phone photo. Lane Market sold out in 48 hours. Photo and reorder slip here. I slide the reorder copy so he sees the date and the quantity. Beat. He looks up. I keep it light. Let's put 12 on the shelf. If 6 remain by Friday, I remove them and buy coffee. He smirks. You're on. I finish the hinge. No risk to you, all work on me. You get credit for the win. He says, set it Thursday. I say, I'll be here at 8. That is not magic. That is a blueprint working while you breathe. You will be tempted to add clever. Kill the clever, keep the clean. The 6 moves work because they mirror a man's mind. He needs to feel safe with time, heard in his need, helped by a plan, convinced by proof, guided to a small next step, and sheltered from blame. That is dignity. That is love at work on a sales floor. Paul said, charity never faileth. 1 Corinthians 13:8. Love will make you train your talk, because love refuses to waste a man's time or money. Love will make you measure your words, because love hates fog. Write this on a card. Habakkuk said, write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Habakkuk 2:2. Make it plain, open, 7 seconds. I won't waste a minute, I'll earn one. Diagnose, ask, don't guess. What costs you a sale on slow Tuesdays, stockouts, placement, or training? Promise, precise. I save this aisle 3 lost sales by Friday without adding labor. Proof, fast. Lane Market sold out in 48 hours. Photo and reorder slip here. Close, light. Let's put 12 on the shelf. If 6 remain by Friday, I remove them and buy coffee. Reassure, reduce fear. No risk to you. All work on me. You get credit for the win. Time it. Train it. Test it. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Until your mouth can walk that corridor in your sleep and not bump a wall. Before you sleep tonight, stand at your kitchen counter and run the 6. Count your breaths. Put a metronome on your phone if you must. 7 seconds to open. 10 to diagnose after he answers. 10 for the promise. 15 for proof. 5 to close. 5 to reassure. Then hush. Let the buyer move. The unseen you is the foreman. Put the whip in his hand. Make him cut the extra word. Make him shave the boast. Make him polish the fact. It will sweat, but make it work. And as you go, anchor your engineering in God. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. He will direct your pauses as surely as your phrases. He will put grace in your voice and steel in your promise. Walk like a son. Work like a master. Build the talk. Each line does a job. The whole closes the door behind doubt. Right words. Right tone. Right now. When that talk stands up in the room before you do, shelves will turn, reorders will ring, and that first open door will show you a long, bright corridor with 100 more. Walk with me to the counter. The floor hums. The scanner chirps. A gatekeeper glances up without giving you a name. She says, "He's booked." Here is where the untrained tongue argues and dies. Not you. The unseen you takes the reins. Peace first. A soft answer turns away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. Smile like a man who came to give, not to take, and say, "Perfect. Give me 20 seconds to give him 20 minutes back this week." Then hush. You have made a micro-promise. Let it buy you room. Colossians 4:6 whispers, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt." Grace saves time. Salt adds savor. Your sentence tastes like relief to a busy desk. She tilts her head. 20 seconds. She waves you through. The buyer doesn't look up yet. He is counting a Thursday that came on a Tuesday. Don't waste a beat. Step to the edge of his attention and set your first stone. I brought you a small, fast win, and I'll carry the weight. That is not theater. That is mercy. You are telling a burdened man that you came to shoulder load. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." You just breathed life into a tired morning. He looks up because you brought a yoke that fits. He has heard enough takers for a week. You sound like a giver. He says the line you expected, a reflex as old as the register. We're fine. This is where drift dies and discipline lives. Don't argue with fine. Honor fine. Save it. Keep it that way. Where does it leak first, end cap or replenishment? Say it just so. No pressure, no lecture. A clean wedge that respects his domain and names his ditches. You did not say, "You're wrong." You said, "You're right, and I'll help you stay right." That pivot is love with boots on. The unseen. You holds your tongue on a short bridle. James said the perfect man does not offend in word. You are steering a horse with 2 ounces of leather. The buyer blinks once, then tells you what the week really does to him. End caps get hit on weekends. Night crew misses tags. There is your pulse. You feel it under your fingers. Diagnose received. You do not preach now. You prove. Slide your phone out like a carpenter laying a square on lumber. 2 photos, 1 reorder. I'll mirror the same setup here and send you the before/after. You put the images on the counter. One shows a clean, eye-level right corner end cap in a store his size. The other shows the same end cap with gaps and a time-stamped reorder slip. You do not add adjectives. Numbers and ink do the talking. Let facts breathe. Isaiah 54 says God gives the tongue of the learned to speak a word in season to the weary. Season is timing, and this is proof season. Point once. 12 units per foot, 14 days, 0 added labor. Your finger lifts. Your mouth closes. He leans forward without knowing it. Now you carry him over the smallest bridge to motion. You do not shove him. You walk him. 12 units, eye level, top right. I build it, you bless it. Light. Assumptive. Dignity intact. You pick the count. You pick the sight line. You asked for blessing, not a blood oath. That is a close a man can nod to with his reputation unbruised. Love speaks this way. It does not tie a rope around a man's chest. It takes his hand. He glances toward aisle 3 as if he can already see the turn. You see his worry stray back to returns. You meet it at the door. If it underperforms, I remove it and apologize with coffee. There is your reassurance, short and strong. You took the risk and put it on your own back. Peace precedes persuasion. Authority flows from trust, not tension. Casting all your anxiety upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. You carried yours to the Father in the lot before you walked in. Now you carry his with a plan he can quote to his boss. Do you hear the burden lift? The heart opens when the load lifts. That is why we lead with respect. A micro-promise and a carried burden. He nods. Top right, 12. You answer without flourish. I'll set Thursday at 8, train the night crew on tags, and text you the before/after. You'll look like you stole a day from the week. He half smiles at the picture you painted and writes your name on a square of his calendar like a sheriff posting a star. This is not magic. This is mastery. Trained words with calluses on them. Faith talking like a worker. Now, hear it again as a chant until your mouth can walk it in its sleep. Gatekeeper. He's booked. You. Perfect. Give me 20 seconds to give him 20 minutes back this week. Buyer looks up. You. I brought you a small, fast win and I'll carry the weight. Buyer. We're fine. You. Keep it that way. Where does it leak first, end cap or replenishment? Buyer gives you the leak. You lay the brick. 2 photos, 1 reorder. I'll mirror the same setup here and send you the before/after. Then the hinge. 12 units, eye level, top right. I build it, you bless it. And the oil on the hinge. If it underperforms, I remove it and apologize with coffee. Beat. Silence does its job. He moves. Doors do not fling open at noise. They turn on oiled hinges. Write this sequence on a card and tan it with use. Put a metronome in your soul. 7 seconds to open with time respect. 10 to diagnose with 1 clean question. 15 to proof with 2 images and a date stamp. 5 to close light. 5 to reassure strong. Then hush. If your nerves scrape, pour scripture on them until they are quiet. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. He will direct your pauses as surely as your pitches. He will steady the hand that slides a photo and the voice that offers coffee for an apology. Now practice until the foreman inside you claps once and says, again. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. Role play at your kitchen counter. Your child can be the gatekeeper. Your reflection can be the buyer. Don't float. Dead fish float. Drive your talk into muscle memory so that when a brittle, we're fine, cracks the air, your answer comes warm and measured, a coat against a cold wind. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. You will feel the counter thaw. You will hear the pen scratch an approval you did not beg for. And that first warm conversation, born in 20 seconds of respect and a vow to carry weight, will become a pattern. Patterns become corridors. Corridors become 100 doors swinging on hinges you installed with right words, right tone, right now. No is not a wall. It is a plea for better words and lower risk. Hear it that way, and your heart will stay soft while your mind stays sharp. James said, "Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath." James 1:19. Swift to hear the fear inside the no. Slow to speak so your words land like tools, not like rocks. Slow to wrath so you don't bruise a buyer to win a shelf. By your words, you are rated. By your words, you turn rejection into revenue. Train them. Here is the formula you will carry like a carpenter carries a square. Agree, isolate, quantify, guarantee. Say it with me until it sings in your bones. Agree, isolate, quantify, guarantee. That four-beam frame turns a shaking no into a knowable, testable yes small, results before requests. You are not arguing, you are lowering risk. You are not clever, you are clean. Let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay. James 5:12. Clean words, straight boards, strong frames. They say, no shelf space. Do not flinch. Agree. You're right to protect space. Isolate. Let's isolate 1 foot. Quantify. 72 hours, top right, eye level. Guarantee. I'll borrow space from dead stock for 72 hours. If I'm wrong, I put it back better than I found it. Do you see the load you lifted? You honored the law of the land. Space is sacred. You reduced the battle to a foot, not a war. You set a timer any man can understand. You took the risk and put it on your back. Then speak the pocket line that smiles while it works. I lower your risk, not your margin. I have walked winter gloves off an end cap in June, set 12 units for 72 hours, and watched them walk out. When I missed on a flavor once, I put the gloves back with cleaner tags than I found and bought coffee. The manager called me back the next week because I left the place better than I found it. Love never faileth. 1 Corinthians 13:8. Love cleans the shelf it borrowed. They say, too expensive. Don't argue with a calculator, become one. Agree. You're right. Price without turn hurts. Isolate. Let's isolate Tuesday walk-bys at aisle 3. Quantify. 12 units, 14 days, price holds, I-track conversion. Guarantee. Compared to what? Lost walk-bys or markdowns? My number protects both. If we don't improve turns 3% by day 14, I eat the difference on the markdown delta. Now breathe. Silence does its job. The buyer's brain is not your enemy. It is your ally when you feed it numbers that protect his dignity. You are saying, trial small, learn fast, scale right. You are saying, results before requests, and you are putting the bite on yourself if you barked too loud. That is authority. That is a man whose vow makes him safe. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove price by turn. Hold fast to the number that protects both walk-bys and shrink. They say, we have a vendor. Bless loyalty, don't break it. Agree, keep them. Keep, isolate. Keep them and keep me. 1 foot where they can't move as fast. Quantify. Top right, 12 units, 72 hours. I do the set, I do the train. Guarantee. We win where they can't move as fast. If I don't outpace their set speed and sell through in 72 hours, I bow out and leave the place better than I found it. You are not asking him to betray a partner. You are offering to fill a gap that speed and care can fill. You become the specialist. The man who comes at 8, not someday. The man who oils the hinge, not rattles the door. The righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28:1. Bold is not loud. Bold is measured commitment with a clock on it. They say, send an email. Don't mock the gate, oil it. Agree. I will. Isolate. I'll send it now. Quantify. While it's sending, earn me 60 seconds live. Guarantee. You can delete it with a clear conscience if I miss. Then send it in front of him. Subject line. 72-hour, 1-foot, zero-risk test. Your credit, my work. Your hands are quiet. Your eyes are honest. He sees that you keep small promises on the spot. He shall give you a mouth and wisdom. Luke 21:15. Wisdom speaks in measurable offers. Mouths win minutes by honoring the man's inbox and his clock. Most men talk about later. You perform now. Hear me. Every objection hides a fear. Shelf space fears mess. Price fears shame. Vendor loyalty fears betrayal. Email requests fear wasted time. Answer the fear with the 4 beams. Agree with the principle he guards. Isolate the smallest honest unit. Quantify with time and count. Guarantee with your own back. Then lay your pocket lines like nails that hold. I lower your risk, not your margin. Results before requests. Trial small, learn fast, scale right. These are not slogans. They are vows with a clock on them. Say them softly. Wear them out with use until they shine. Let me hand you street scripts to tan with use. No shelf space. You. You're right to protect space. Let's isolate 1 foot for 72 hours. Dead stock's corner. I'll borrow it, build it, and if I'm wrong, I put it back better than I found it. I lower your risk, not your margin. Beat. Hush. He moves. Too expensive. You. Price must protect walk-bys and avoid markdowns. Compared to what? Lost walk-bys or markdowns? My number protects both. 12 units, 14 days. If turns don't rise 3%, I cover the delta. Trial small, learn fast, scale right. Beat. Hush. He does the math. We have a vendor. You. Keep them and keep me. We win where they can't move as fast. 1 foot, 72 hours, my set, my train. If I don't outpace their speed and sell through, I bow out, and you keep the credit for testing smart. Beat. Hush. He smiles because you blessed his loyalty and gave him a win. Send an email. You. I'll send it now and earn 60 seconds live so you can delete it with a clear conscience if I miss. Then you press send. He watches a man who keeps his own mouth. When you do this, your heart must be quiet. Peace precedes persuasion. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God shall keep your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:6-7. Pray in the lot. Hand him your jitters. Walk in like a son, work like a master. Then when a no snaps at you, you will not snap back. You will nod, cut the problem to size, put a timer on it, and carry the risk. Authority flows from trust, not tension. I stood once in a back room where a manager stacked 30 cases of a slow mover like bricks of regret. No space, he said. I agreed. I pointed to the bottom row. This row is dead. Let me borrow 1 foot for 72 hours. He laughed. 1 foot can't move a mountain. I said gently, it can start a landslide. We set 12 at eye level, top right. I trained the night crew on tags and left the backstock neater than I found it. 48 hours, 8 units left. 72. 3. He said, keep the foot. I said, results before requests. He shook my hand with relief in it. That is not magic. That is objection alchemy. Right words, right tone, right now. Write the 4-beam frame on your card. Agree, isolate, quantify, guarantee. Drill it until your mouth can build it in your sleep. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. And when no rises in aisle 3, you will hear the knowledge behind it. Answer the fear with a smaller ask and a bigger promise, and watch a door swing on a hinge you oiled with faith-filled words. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. Proverbs 25:11. Fit your words. Make them carry the weight. Turn no into no. Then turn no into sold. Then turn sold into doors, 1, 10, 100, because you learn to make objections pay. Under fire, the tongue reveals the heart's weather. If there is a storm inside, your words will squeak and slip. If there is a river of peace inside, your words will carry boats. Peace precedes persuasion. Authority flows from trust, not tension. Let me put the whip into the hand of the unseen you and teach him to quiet you before the door swings. Casting all your anxiety upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast it. Not admire it, not manage it. Cast it. Throw the sack off your shoulder into his hand. Empty hands sell better. A clenched fist cannot shake a hand. An anxious heart cannot carry another man's load. Offload first, then walk in like a son and work like a master. Here is my parking lot prayer, short as a hammer tap, strong as a steel beam. Father, give me wisdom, favor, and clean words. I serve, you open. I say it with my palms open on the steering wheel. Then I breathe slow. 4 in, hold 2, 4 out, twice. My jaw unclenches. My eyes soften. I feel ownership lift from my shoulders onto his. Then I walk toward the door, as a man who has already made the big decision. I have placed the day into his palm. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. He shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. Paths include pauses and pitches. He directs both. You do not go in to make something happen. You go in to do your job while he opens the hinge. Son consciousness changes a walk. Slaves beg, sons bless. Slaves fear, sons serve. You are not a beggar at a counter. You are a son in a father's world, on your father's business. Ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. Romans 8:15. With him in you, you can no more fail than Jesus failed. Not arrogance, alignment. Not I get my way, but I do his will in his way. Failure for a son is not a closed door. It is unfaithfulness to the method and the master. Be faithful. Keep the rhythm. Keep the vow. He owns the outcome. You own the obedience. Do you see the safety? Authority grows where responsibility is clean. You handle your part with excellence. He handles the weather, the wallets, and the wills. I have walked into a hard store with a heart like a shaken soda can. I have spoken too fast, fought the clock, and watched a man put up a wall to protect himself from my tension. Then I learned the fountain of quiet. One winter morning, after 2 rejections in a row and a rent bill that looked like a mountain, I sat in a truck with my breath fogging the glass. I wanted to push. The unseen you took the whip. I prayed, Father, give me wisdom, favor, and clean words. I serve, you open. I cast the weight by name. Rent, pride, hurry, I put each stone in his hand and said out loud, you care for me. Then I walked in slow, not lazy, steady. I smiled in my eyes, not like a clown, like a man with a warm coat on a cold day. My tone dropped half a key. The buyer felt the weather change. He did not know why he trusted me enough to let me borrow a foot for 72 hours, but he did. Peace sold it before proof proved it. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Isaiah 26:3. Keep your mind stayed, your mouth will follow. Practice peace like you practice your talk. Make it muscle. 4-count breath at the door. Shoulders down, jaw loose, eyes kind. Speak at 2/3 speed for your first 2 sentences. Let silence do its job. Faith sounds like rest. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." John 14:27. If he gave it, receive it. If you received it, let it out through your tone. A quiet spirit is not weakness, it is a harnessed engine. Power with a muffler. Still water runs deep. God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. Sound mind. Not scattered, not frantic. The buyer reads your face before he hears your case. Give him a face that says, "I have brought order into the room." Here is the drill I give rookies and veterans alike. In the lot, before the knob turns, say the Son's Prayer twice. Father, give me wisdom, favor, and clean words. I serve, you open. Then cast by name. Name is the handle by which you lift a fear. Anxiety about price? Yours. Anxiety about time? Yours. Anxiety about my worth? Yours. Put each into his palm. Don't pick them back up. Walk to the door with your hands empty and your calendar ready. When the gatekeeper barks, you smile with rest. When the buyer says, "We're fine," you honor it with a nod that is not bitter. When your proof comes out, your voice stays low. You are not trying to convince yourself. Authority flows from the one you have already obeyed. You will ask, "Can a man keep this pace when the month is lean?" Yes. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Peace is not a mood. It is a practice. It is a vow you make every morning to cast the weight before you carry the shelf. It is the alarm clock in your soul that rings at the door. Breathe, pray, serve, then speak. Make your brain work, it will sweat, but make it work. Teach it to return to sun consciousness like a homing pigeon returns to the coop. Teach it to say, "I cannot fail at being faithful. I may miss a shelf today, but I will not miss my stance." The market respects a man who can stand in weather without yelling at the wind. When the day closes, take inventory of your peace, not just your purchases. Numbers tell the truth about your words, but your words tell the truth about your heart. Did you carry what should have been cast? Repent quick and light. The throne of grace is open. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. Hebrews 4:16. Boldly is how sons walk in a kitchen, not how beggars beat on a door. Walk in, hand him the day, take grace for tomorrow, and sleep like a man with a foreman on the night shift. Now rise and go again. In the morning fog of the lot, put your palms up and say it like a craftsman blessing his tools. Father, give me wisdom, favor, and clean words. I serve, you open. Cast the weight. Breathe. Smile in your eyes. Step in as a son. Work like a master. Peace precedes persuasion. Authority flows from trust, not tension. Right words, right tone, right now, born out of a quiet heart that knows whose world this is and whose hands hold you while you work. Doors will feel it. Buyers will hear it before you speak. And that rested authority will turn one hard no into 100 open doors, because God's peace has settled on your tongue and made your words worth more than their weight in ink. Now we train the mouth like a tradesman trains his hands. Words are not pets. They are tools. They must be honed, weighed, and timed. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Psalm 141:3. God sets the watch. you swing the hammer. Repetition with measurement turns hope into habit and habit into mastery. Put the whip into the hand of the unseen you and tell him to go to it. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. The market pays men whose sentences carry weight and arrive on time. Start with the mirror cadence. 10 reps of the 7-second open every morning before the lot. Face the man in the glass. He is the one that sells, and he is the one that quits. Eyes steady, jaw loose, shoulders down. Speak your open like a foreman gives directions. Clean, kind, unquestioned. Perfect. Give me 20 seconds to give him 20 minutes back this week. Time it. 7 seconds is the frame. If you run long, you are leaking fear. If you cut short, you are starving clarity. Remove the fillers, like, kinda, maybe, just. These are flies in your bakery case. They make good bread look dirty. Proverbs says, "In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise." Proverbs 10:19. Fewer, cleaner, wiser, 10 reps, every day. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. You will watch the darting eye grow still, the twitchy mouth settle into authority. Authority lives in the eyes first, then it moves to the tongue. Now build your audio loops. Take your diagnose questions and record them into your phone. 3 angles only. Keep it that way. Where does it leak first? End cap or replenishment? If you had 10 more minutes each Thursday, where would you spend them? Compared to what? Lost walk-bys or markdowns? Play them back while you drive and judge 2 things: warmth and brevity. Warmth means a smile in the sound, not syrup. Brevity means every word pays rent. Rewrite until each question is a 12-word arrow with a felt tip. Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt." Salt is not gravel, it is savor. Questions that taste like help open men. Record again, loop again, sharpen again. When it sings warm and lands short, lock it. Put a metronome in your mouth. 70 to 80 beats per minute cures rush. Tap the dashboard with your finger and ride the beat while you speak your open, your promise, your close. On the promise line, pause 2 beats after you commit. I lower your risk, not your margin. Beat. Silence does its job. Ecclesiastes says there is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Ecclesiastes 3:7. Mark your script with 2 slashes where silence must carry weight. I build it, you bless it. // if it underperforms, I remove it and apologize with coffee. Feel how the pause lets the promise breathe? Rushing is unbelief with a motor. Faith sounds like rest. Train it at 70 to 80 beats per minute until your tongue lays rails the train can ride. Do the copy grind on your promise line. Write 10 variations by hand. 10, not 2. Not your favorite 3. 10. The first 5 will be soft. The next 3 will be better. The last 2 will carry steel. Habakkuk 2:2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." Make it plain. Keep the shortest that carries proof. Examples: 12 units, top right, 72 hours, my set, my risk. I build it, you bless it. If it misses, I remove and make it right. 1 foot, 3 days, before/after to your phone. Results before requests. Say them out loud. The one that lands clearest and shortest wins. Put the others in a drawer. Don't let them clutter your mouth. Keep a word ledger like a shop book. Every day, track phrases that close and phrases that stall. Green for closes, red for stalls. At week's end, lay them out on the table like tools. Ask, what earned, what cost? Prune the reds without sentiment. If trust me stalls, replace it with here are the numbers. If best in class stalls, replace it with before/after, 12 units, 14 days. By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Matthew 12:37. By your words you are rated. Keep a ledger. Tally the truth. Prune weekly. This is how craftsmen get faster. Fewer motions, cleaner cuts. There is a gold mine hidden in every life. Your ledger is the map that shows where you struck pay and where you dug sand. Set the alarm clock in your soul for outreach. 2 daily windows. Non-negotiable. Early block, later block. I like 8:15 to 9:45 and 3:30 to 5. Prepare the night before. Names, numbers, store notes, last touch, next ask, micro-proof ready to text. Show up to the window early like a man who clocks in 5 minutes before the bell. Don't depend on an alarm clock. Have the alarm clock in your soul. In those windows, you are not browsing, you are building. Dials, walk-ins, follow-ups, calendar sets, confirmation texts, track attempts, connects, sets, shows, closes. A scoreboard is not shame, it is truth. Let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay. James 5:12. If you said 2 blocks, keep 2 blocks. If you said 20 touches, keep 20 touches. Vows make men safe. I keep under my body and bring it into subjection. 1 Corinthians 9:27. Put the whip in his hand and make him ring that window bell until the corridor appears. Fold scripture into the grind like steel into concrete. Before reps, whisper Psalm 19:14. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. After reps, thank him for the small corrections, one less filler, one steadier eye, one cleaner promise. Through the day, keep Luke 6:45 in mind. Out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. Fill the heart, and the mouth will speak straight. This is not theater. This is sanctified craft. You are building a talk that does not waste men's time or bruise their dignity. You are building a rhythm heaven can breathe through. Drill sheet for the week, simple and strict. Monday through Friday. Mirror cadence, 10/7s. Audio loop, record 3, edit, re-record. Metronome, open, promise, close at 75 beats per minute with marked pauses, 3 rounds. Copy grind, 1 promise line, 10 options, choose the shortest with proof. Word ledger, end of day, green/red. Outreach windows, 2 blocks, prepared lists, scoreboard updated. Saturday morning, review ledger, prune reds, memorize greens, and lay out next week's names. Sunday, rest the mouth in worship and let God oil the hinges again. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. He will direct your pauses and your phone calls. He will breathe on the small faithfulness until it is a wide door. Do not despise dull repetition. The bell ringer became a salesman. The whittler became a sculptor. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Repetition without measurement is vanity. Measurement without repetition is pride. Together they become mastery. In a month, your open will be a blade. In a quarter, your promise will be a lever. In a year, your ledger will read like a map of green lights down 100 aisles. Dead fish float. You are not dead. You are a son with a craft. Train the tongue. Train the timing. Drill until your words clock in before you do, and your pauses do more work than your adjectives. Then watch rejection turn to revenue, and one door become many, because you made your mouth a tool that heaven could trust. A plan multiplies miracles. God opens a door. System makes a hallway. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:6. Paths, not a path. Plural. One store is a blessing. 100 doors is stewardship. So we write the road, we mark the mileposts, and we make the unseen. You keep the rhythm until the corridor appears. Kept at it. Kept at it. Kept at it. Here is the weekly pipeline math that turns courage into coverage. 20 cold touches lead to 8 live talks. 8 live talks lead to 4 trials. 4 trials lead to 2 reorders. 2 reorders birth 1 referral. 20, 8, 4, 2, 1. Repeat weekly. Do not argue with the arithmetic. Feed it. Put the whip in his hand. Tell him, hit 20 touches whether the weather smiles or spits. I would rather have a man of 20 faithful taps than a gust of genius once a month. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Touches are your least. Doors are your much. Faithfulness in the least builds a district. Make the touches real, not noise. A touch is either a live conversation or a scheduled slot on the calendar that holds. Count it clean. If you do not see eyes or secure a time and place, it is not a touch. It is wishful thinking. 8 live talks come when your open is a blade and your promise is a lever. 4 trials come when your guarantees carry your risk. 2 reorders come when your aftercare turns results into rhythm. 1 referral comes when you ask like a son who carries weight, not like a beggar who collects cards. Stack the weeks. 5 weeks of rhythm is a lane of reorders and a bouquet of introductions. 10 weeks is the scent of a district manager sniffing momentum and calling you the man who makes small tests pay. Aftercare is where good installers become fixtures. Day 2, photo. Day 4, face. Day 6, data. Write it down. Day 2, you go back and take a clean, well-lit picture of the set. Top right, 12 units, tag straight. Send it to the buyer with this line. Before/after, day 2 holding. 60 seconds by the shelf doubles the lookers today. I'm spending it at noon. He sees a man who looks and lifts. Day 4, you face and touch up. Dust, straighten, replace a fallen tag. You are the kind of man that leaves the place better than he found it. Text. Faced and tightened, day 4, eye level alive, top right pulls. Day 6, you ask for the reorder with data, not drama. 12 set, 9 moved, 3 hold. Trajectory says 14-day sell-through. Approve 12 more and I'll split flavors 8-4 to protect turn. Numbers minister to nervous hearts. Let your yea be yea, and your nay nay. James 5:12. Your yea is pictures and counts. Your nay is a promise you did not make. Use the micro demo to push the turn when wind is light. Stand 60 seconds by the shelf at peak hour and serve, not sell. 60 seconds by the shelf doubles the lookers today. Say it to yourself. Say it to the buyer. Warm nod to a passerby. One line that carries the benefit. One little proof to the eye. No circus. No hard pitch. You are a shepherd guiding sheep to green grass. Colossians 4:5-6 says, Walk in wisdom toward them that are without. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. Salt, not smoke. 60 seconds. Twice that day. Text the buyer the bump. Lookers doubled. 3 incremental units moved. He smiles. The reorder gets ink. Now harvest the referral while the gratitude is warm. Your script is simple and safe. Who do you know that hates stockouts more than you do? Introduce me and I'll run the same carry-the-weight play. Say it while you show him his numbers. Ask for 1 name, expect 2. Put the burden on your back. You see us. I'll do the set, the train, the aftercare. Your credit for being the wise neighbor. Then stand still and let him think. Silence does its job. When he gives the name, draft the intro on the spot. If he stalls, lower the risk. Start me with the toughest store, 1 foot 72 hours. I'll earn the second name. You see, we agree. Isolate, quantify, guarantee even in the referral. We make introductions safe. We carry the weight. Document everything as if the district were watching, because he will. From one end cap to 2 stores to the district is a paper trail of proof. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So make it plain. For each trial, keep a 1-page template. Before/after photos with timestamps, the promise line you used, the exact placement, top right, eye level, 1 foot, the micro demo minutes, the sell-through numbers, day 2/4/6, the reorder text verbatim, and the referral line used. Add one buyer, quote, left the place better than he found it, with permission. That page is your traveling end cap. Hand it to the next buyer. He can run before he believes, because proof has legs. 2 stores say yes. You print the 2 pages as a set. The district manager sees the set and thinks, this is a system, not a salesman. Systems scale. Charm does not. Build your footprint like a mason lays brick, square, level, plumb. End cap in store A, then twinned in store B within 7 days. Call it your 7-day twinning rule. If A reorders by day 6, B hears it by day 7. A moved 9 and 6. I'll port the play across. My risk. When 2 stores sing the same song, call the district office with respect. Give me 3 tough stores. I'll run the same carry-the-weight play. If I do not match speed and sell-through in 72 hours, I bow out. You are not asking for favor. You are applying a method. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Order persuades men who live by chaos. You become the quiet man with a clipboard who makes aisles sing. Lay your week in lanes. Monday morning, pipeline fill. 20 touches set in motion, lists prepped, routes plotted. Monday afternoon, 8 live talks targeted, 4 penciled for trials. Tuesday, set trials A and B, day 2 for last week's sets. Wednesday, set trials C and D, day 4, face-ups. Thursday, day 6, data and reorder asks, 2 micro demos. Friday, referral harvests and district introductions, template pages built. Saturday, ledger, greens and reds. Vow kept or broken, repent and reset. Sunday, rest the mouth, worship, oil the hinges. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37:5. He brings it to pass, but he asks you to bring your plan to the day. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. Price your time in doors opened, not miles driven. If a route yields touches without talks, change the route. If a talk yields trials without reorders, fix aftercare. If reorders come and referrals do not, fix your ask. Dead fish float. Live men adjust. The unseen you is the foreman. Put the whip in his hand and make him hold you to 28-4-2-1 until the hallway lights itself with reorders and intros. Hear the promise hidden in the plod. Be not weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6:9. Due season has a schedule. Day 2, day 4, day 6. Due season has a math. 28-4-2-1. Due season has a face. Your name spoken by a district manager who says, he carries the weight and leaves the place better than he found it. A system turns one open door into a corridor of doors. Build it. Bless through it. Keep at it, kept at it, kept at it. And watch aisles become avenues. Avenues become districts. Districts become a map of green lights because you married faith to order and made your mouth and your calendar a tool heaven could trust. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. 2 Corinthians 13:1. You have heard the method. Now hear the witnesses. Proof makes faith visible. Stories carry weight, your words alone cannot. I give you the pages I carry in my bag, the little parables written in ink and timestamp that make nervous men brave and quiet men nod. First, the 12 and 36. Maple and 3rd, a Tuesday, 9:42 a.m. I prayed the Son's Prayer with my palms on the wheel. Father, give me wisdom, favor, and clean words. I serve, you open. Then in I went. I asked for 1 foot, top right, 72 hours, my set, my risk. The buyer's brow said, maybe. His mouth said, fine, 1 foot. I built it like a mason lays brick, square, level, plumb, tags clean, faces forward. 1 promise card hand-printed, no fluff. 12 units, top right, 72 hours, results before requests. I did my 60 seconds by the shelf at lunch. I breathed. I smiled in my eyes. I asked 2 mothers 1 question that tasted like help. If you had 10 more minutes each Thursday, where would you spend them? They nodded. 2 units walked. At 3:18 p.m. next day, I took the photo. Shelf 3 units light. Timestamp on the image. At 9:07 a.m. the following morning, 36 hours in, the last unit left. The slip printed. My phone caught the clock. I texted the buyer the picture, the count, the clock, and the line. 12 set, 12 moved, 36 hours. Approved 12 more. I'll split flavors 8-4 to protect turn. He stood in the aisle and said, do the same in Westside. You see it? Faith spoke. Proof nodded. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works. Matthew 5:16. They saw a shelf that worked. The light shone. The second door opened. Now the bell ringer echo. There's a grocer on Pine who keeps a brass bell behind the counter for wins. He had turned me twice with a soft no. I had rushed then. I had talked like a man with a shaken soda can in his chest. The unseen, you took the whip the 3rd time. I slowed my tone to 75 beats. I led with respect and a micro-promise. You carry weight. I protect it. 1 foot, 72 hours. I lower your risk, not your margin. I let 2 beats of silence work. He stared at my eyes as if measuring weather. Then he reached back and rang that bell. Stock a dozen, he told the clerk. Why? The phrase carried steel, not stuffing. It rang the bell because it carried faith, not fluff. But a good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Matthew 12:35, Luke 6:45. We had put treasure in the heart. The words came out heavy enough to move a hand to a bell and a pen to a slip. Then the window dresser lesson. Westside had a window that bled rent. They had plastered it with price cuts like a wounded man with bandages. But bandages do not build bones. Ruth, the window dresser, laughed when I asked for a hand. We tried everything, she said, pointing at the red slashes. I nodded. We haven't tried plain and placed, I said. Placement plus promise beats price alone. We set 3 faces in a high right triangle. 1 at eye, 1 step up, 1 anchor. We stripped the noise, left 1 sentence, black on white, hand-lettered like a vow. 30 seconds back in your Thursday. Not 10 claims. One promise. Then the shelf inside matched the window outside. Top right, 12 tight, tags true. We did no discount. None. I stood 60 seconds at noon. Twice. 4 units left before the bell of 1. 2 more by 4. 6 units in a day with no price slash. Ruth watched the glass, then looked at me like a student who has just found the sum. Placement and promise, she said softly. It earns rent. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. Plain beats loud. Promise plus place beats price. The next week, Ruth taught another girl the triangle and the line. Systems multiply. Charm does not. Do you see the refrain sewing these parables together? Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Every store, same discipline, same prayer, same proof. Maple and 3rd became Westside. Westside became Riverbend. The district office called not because I am handsome, but because paper speaks. Photos with timestamps. Slips with ink. Before slash afters that can walk down a hall. Faith is the engine. Proof lays the tracks for others to run on. Faith without works is dead. James 2:17. Our works are shelves that move, windows that earn, buyers who say, do the same for my neighbor. Proof turns private faith into public courage. Let me give you the short parable of the stiff-armed buyer. We don't do new brands, he said, eyes already on tomorrow's truck. The old me would have thrown adjectives. The trained talk did its job. Respect first. You've earned that rule. Micro-promise next. Give me your toughest store. Carried burden last. 1 foot, 72 hours. My set, my risk. If it misses, I remove and apologize with coffee. 2 beats of silence. He glanced up like a man hearing rain on a tin roof. Try Southline, he said, smirking. Southline was their graveyard. I built it square, level, plumb. Day 2, photo, 4 gone. Day 4, face up, dust gone, 9 gone. At hour 64, before the trial ended, he texted the reorder and added, add Northgate, same play. By thy words thou shalt be justified. Matthew 12:37. Not by your volume, by your trained, faith-filled words that carry the man's load and leave his margin alone. These are not fairy tales. They are shop stories. They live and breathe because a mouth was trained, a tone was quiet, a promise was kept. The bell ringer echoes in every aisle where words carry faith. The window pays rent when you strip noise and make it plain. The 12 and 36 repeats when you lay your set like brick and let silence sell your guarantee. You cannot hide trained genius. It shows up in timestamps and in smiles, in bells that ring and in windows that finally work. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Psalm 34:8. We let them taste with a trial. They saw with a photo. They said, do the same in Westside. That is how one door becomes 100, story by story, proof by proof, kept at it, kept at it, kept at it, until the corridor opens and your name means he carries the weight and leaves the place better than he found it. Proof makes faith visible, and once visible, even cautious men will lend you their aisles and say, do it again. Proof has done its speaking. Now let numbers do their singing. A scoreboard is not a scold. It is a friend that tells you the truth about your words. A false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Proverbs 11:1. Give the Lord a delight in your shop. Use just weights. Measure your mouth and your minutes. What you measure multiplies, and what you refuse to count quietly rots. By your words you are rated. By your numbers your words are proven. Keep them both clean. Track the 5. Simple and strict. Dials, live talks, trials, reorders, referrals, 5 columns on a card you can hold in a wet parking lot. Morning totals and afternoon totals. Green ink for kept, red for missed. Set daily minimums that make a week sing. I like 10 4 2 1 1. 10 dials, 4 live talks, 2 trials, 1 reorder ask, 1 referral ask. That is your floor, not your ceiling. You hit the floor even when the weather spits. If a day pushes light, the unseen you cracks the whip, and your soul alarm rings for an evening block to make it right. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. Proverbs 27:23. Those 5 numbers are your flock. Count them. Tend them. Shear them in season. You will find that 10 honest dials become 8 honest callbacks next week. 4 live talks become 4 doors to test. 2 trials become 2 proofs with timestamps. 1 reorder ask becomes a habit. 1 referral ask becomes a river. Quality beats quantity when quality is counted. So build your talk quality index. Write 2 open lines. Only 2. Run them in the wild for a week like 2 mules on a hill, and find which one pulls. Mark each live talk with the opener used and the outcome. Your ledger reads like this by Friday. Open A, perfect. Give me 20 seconds to give him 20 minutes back this week. 12 uses, 5 trials, 2 reorders. Open B. I lower your risk, not your margin. 10 uses, 7 trials, 3 reorders. Do the math. Trials per talk. Reorders per trial. The one that carries steel stays. The softer one goes to the drawer. Next week, pit the winner against a fresh line and keep climbing. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. In 30 days, your open will be a blade because you did not argue with arithmetic. You honored it. By him actions are weighed. 1 Samuel 2:3. Let him weigh your words in results, not in romance. Now time integrity. Punctuality is a sales sentence lived. A man's clock is his creed with hands. If you promise a follow-up at 2, arrive at 1:55. If you promise day 2 photos, send them at hour 48 with the timestamp in the frame. If you say 72 hours, do not let it be 74. James said, let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay. James 5:12. Your yea has a clock on it, your nay has a date. I stood once in a lot with rain working the seams of my coat, 5 minutes early to a 2 o'clock. The buyer walked in, shook his hat dry, glanced at the clock, then at me. He did not smile big, he nodded small, like a mason tapping a brick that is set true. You were here before my time, he said. The next sentence he spoke was not about weather. It was, set 1 foot, I'm watching. Punctuality was my press release. It went ahead of my mouth and wrote a headline. This man keeps time. He will keep shelves. A faithful man shall abound with blessings. Proverbs 28:20. Blessings often come with a clock in hand and a pen ready. Write a daily vow card and keep it in the left chest pocket where the heart beats. Read it morning, noon, and before the last window. 3 lines only, hand-lettered clean as a contract. I deliver value before requests. I open 3 new doors today. I speak clean, short, strong. Touch it when the day wobbles. Whisper it when your nerves talk too much. Psalm 15 says of the man who dwells with God, he sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. Psalm 15:4. That vow card makes you that man. When noon comes and you are at 2 doors, the unseen you cracks the whip. 1 more. When a sentence runs long, your vow interrupts. Shorten it. When you feel the itch to ask before you serve, your vow pulls your hand back to the shelf. Value first. Price your word. What is one kept promise worth in your market? It is worth a reorder and a referral. What is one broken time word worth? It is worth 3 months of hard road. Set a price on your minute. If your word says 2 o'clock, those 5 early minutes are a deposit into your good name, and a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Proverbs 22:1. When you say, "I'll send the photo in an hour," and it arrives in 50 minutes, you just raised your price in that man's mind without saying a syllable. When you ask at day 6 with numbers in hand, you are not begging. You are billing trust that you already delivered. Honor your word, and the market will honor you. It cannot be otherwise. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Luke 6:38. Your measure is your minutes and your mouth. Pack them full. Press them down. Make them honest. Post your scoreboard where your eyes must see it. End of day, green the kept, red the missed, and pray short and straight. Father, thank you for the greens, forgive the reds. Tomorrow I will keep my vow. Then fix what made the red. If your dial's missed, lay out tomorrow's list before you sleep. If your talk's missed, a /B again. If your trial's missed, tighten your promise line and your pause. If your reorder's missed, check your day 2/4/6. If your referral's missed, write the ask bigger on your card. Dead fish float. Live men adjust. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Do not despise the tyranny of small numbers. 10, 4, 2, 1, 1 each day is the humble music that fills districts. Your talk index is the sharpening stone. Your clock is your character on display. Your vow card is the whip in the hand of the unseen you. Numbers tell the truth about your words. Honor your word, and the market will honor you. When a man marries, just waits with clean sentences and early arrivals. Doors learn his name and open on sight. Then the corridor appears, not by accident, but by arithmetic soaked in faith. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Write your scores with all your might. And watch the Lord direct your paths into 100 doors that respect a name, a clock, and a vow. You have your weights and measures. Your vow sits in your pocket, with the ink still fresh. Now we go from counting to conquering. This is your commission. Knock like a son. Work like a master. Son consciousness in the heart. Master craft in the hands. Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Matthew 7:7. Sons knock different. They carry the name. They expect the door to answer. Masters work different. They carry the plan. They expect the shelf to sing. Say the vow aloud with a working man's honesty. I open 100 doors by faithful words, honest work, and God's favor. Again, slower, like a contract you sign before angels and buyers. I open 100 doors by faithful words, honest work, and God's favor. Let it sit in the ribs. That is not poetry. That is a payroll. John 1:12 declares, As many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. Son power means you don't beg like a stranger at the porch. You knock like family, and you work like the owner's son who will carry weight until the lights go out. Here is your 7-day plan. Write it. Schedule it. Keep it. Report it. 140 touches. 56 live talks. 28 trials. That is 20 touches a day. 8 live talks a day. 4 trials a day. Monday through Sunday, the corridors do not open for wishers. They open for men who feed the math. Block it by the clock. 2 morning touch windows, 2 afternoon. 8 talks slotted with travel buffers you honored yesterday when you laid your route. 4 trials set like brick square level plumb. If a window slips, the unseen you cracks the whip and you move the block to the evening. Don't depend on an alarm clock. Have the alarm clock in your soul. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Proverbs 16:3. Works first. Thoughts line up after the boots hit the floor. Pray and go. Short, straight, strong. Father, direct my path. Clean my tongue. Give me buyers to serve. Then move your feet. Pray it with your hand on the wheel and your eyes open to traffic. The prayer oils the hinge. The push opens the door. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Proverbs 3:6. He directs paths, not pillows. He guides moving feet. Faith is a lever. Work is the fulcrum. Doors are the load that tips when both meet under heaven's hand. Carry this refrain in the truck, on the sidewalk, by the shelf. They said no. I kept at it. Now they're sold out. Say it like a drum that drowns your nerves. They said no in aisle 3. I kept at it. Now they're sold out on end cap 4. They said no on Pine. I kept at it. Now the bell rings when I walk in. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. That refrain turns your spine into steel when a man across the counter carries last year's fear in his eyes. You answer him with trained words and a timetable, not with hurt feelings. I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. Revelation 3:8. If God has said it, your job is to reach it. Reach it with 140, 56, 28. Reach it with day 2/4/6. Reach it with pictures and timestamps that make nervous men brave. Make your brain work. It will sweat, but make it work. Tonight, route the 140 into streets and names. Post the 8 talk slots for tomorrow with actual hours. Pencil the 4 trial windows with tools you will carry. List the top rights you will request. Write the phrases you will run A/B. Prepare your micro-promise, your silence, your carry-the-weight line. Lay your kit by the door. Charges full. Tags ready. Wipes in the bag. You are not a wish in a coat. You are a craftsman with a creed. Whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord. Colossians 3:23. Heartily has a calendar. Heartily shows up 5 minutes early with a clean sentence and a steady tone. Knock like a son. When you reach for the handle, remember Romans 8:31. If God be for us, who can be against us? Not the rain, not the frown, not yesterday's miss. Sun consciousness lifts your chin without making your voice loud. You do not strut. You serve. You do not plead. You propose safe trials. Work like a master. Keep your lines short. Keep your guarantees clean. Keep your aftercare exact. Let your yea be yea and your nay nay. James 5:12. Your yea has numbers. Your nay has a broom when a test misses. Masters clean their own sawdust. Report it. Each night send yourself the truth. Touches, talks, trials, green the kept, red the missed. Pray it simple. Father, thank you for the greens. Forgive the reds. Tomorrow I will keep my vow. Then fix the leak. If Tuesday comes short on live talks, widen Wednesday's top of funnel. If Thursday's trials lag, sharpen the promise line today. Live men adjust. Dead fish float. You are alive in God. You can no more fail than Jesus failed if you keep his yoke and his rhythm. Be strong and of a good courage, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Joshua 1:9. Do not wait for an opportunity. Go make your opportunity. Knock the first 3 doors before noon. Open 1 foot in the worst store before lunch. Ask for the reorder with numbers at hour 72. Ask for one referral while the gratitude is warm. Begin now. Send the first 5 texts while I am still speaking. Book 2 live talks before your coffee cools. Put the whip in the hand of the unseen you and tell him, drive me to 20 today, then do it again tomorrow, and again, and again. Kept at it, kept at it, kept at it. Doors will open until there are none left to knock, and you will stand in a bright corridor of 100 names who say of you, he carries the weight and leaves the place better than he found it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on yesterday's fears. Honor your word. Honor your clock. Train your tongue. Put the vow in your pocket and the root in your hand. Sons knock. Masters work. Today we begin. They said no. I kept at it. Now they're sold out. And tomorrow, we do it again until the district calls and says, do the same in 100. Amen. Go.